I caved and got a Baja Blast at a gas station. I figured my body doesn't need ice cream sundae, A&W, and a Baja Blast. Though, if COVID-2 comes out, there's no way it can harm me.
COVID-2, the sequel to COVID.
What the f*** is it going to do to my body that I haven't done to it already? I ain't scared of
Donkey!
Well,
you think you're bad.
I could come up with a list.
I was like, you think you're bad.
Yeah. You get the Diet Mountain Dew and ice cream.
I was like, dude, that's literally my fuel to live. I drink water, I assure you. Good lord.
I'm not judging you.
I could feel it.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Common Ground Podcast, your favorite podcast where we talk about your favorite format, Pauper. This is episode 86. I am your co-host, Cameron Schindler, joined as always by Thomas.
Danmer Gun.
Dammer.
It's true.
Thomas Terragun. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I warmed up my voice singing, blasting out some vocals to some System of a Down on the way over of a bunch of songs off the Hypnotize record, and I warmed it up a little too much. So we got some nice sultry tones going on.
Nice, beautiful. We love that.
You would have no idea because we've been chatting for like however long.
Do you feel the holy mountains?
Oh my god. This whole record, I've just been like in a very like anti-establishment like the system sort of vibe recently, as I'm sure many listeners are.
So why did you not listen to?
I also listened to that, but like that record in particular just has a lot of strong messaging about like supporting the people and calling truth to revealing the truth of atrocities in the world and that sort of stuff.
This is one of the bands that all three of us are a fan of,
that we all like.
We all like, and I've noticed I've never really heard anybody say like anything negative about them.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice. This is one of those like universally like really liked bands. It's really cool.
Yeah. No, I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here.
I played Shimmy once, and someone's like, "This is a weird song," and I'm like,
"Yeah, this one. It's one of the weird ones."
Yeah, like, you're not.
There
wrong.
are some that are quite weird, but it's great.
Also joined by James Hippo Hieronymus. How are you doing?
I am here and present, and it's a Monday, and I'm accounted for.
Oh, it is Monday.
He is accounted for.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Somebody asked me how I'm doing.
Hey, Cameron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I got a busy week coming up. I moved. So my buddy, I cannot talk today. My buddy Zach is coming down for the Common Ground Cup, and he's going to visit. He's one of my friends back from South Dakota, and I'm like, I might be just like freshly moved into my new place because I'm moving apartment, same apartment complex. Hippo and I are going to be roommates actually, so that's going to be pretty fun.
True.
I'm excited. I'm going to like save $500-$600 on rent, have a 3-bedroom apartment instead of a 1-bedroom apartment by myself, and save money. It's going to be sick. And Hippo's going to get 2 roommates in the form of me and Croissant.
I'm losing money, but I'm gaining room.
Yeah,
a lot of room.
I don't want to speak for you, but it seems like you don't have a lot of freedom in current home.
It's not that I don't have freedom. It's just that I have agreed to live in a room, and so I don't really use many other areas of the house.
Doesn't sound like a home.
So funny enough, I actually gave him my notice earlier last week, and that was hard to do.
Yeah, because he's a friend of yours.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. I actually asked him, I was like, hey, can we talk? And he's like, oh, it's the end of an era.
Oh,
he's like, we were
bittersweet.
He's like, we were outbreak buddies.
Yeah,
like, we were.
Yeah. I hope you're excited though.
I am.
Yeah,
I am.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
Like, host drafts and stuff.
Yeah,
speaking of space for that,
it'll be cool.
I'm excited because we'll have that 3rd bedroom space.
That's true.
Yeah,
potentially just post up in there and record the
basically
pod.
Just
that's what
basically just a studio space.
Maybe make some more content in there.
That was our plan. Put both our office desk in there, our magic stuff, put a couch in there, record the pod.
And Common Ground content.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. That's funny.
Oh yeah, another casting couch?
That's for the only. I mean, Patreon.
Yes. Yeah. That is certainly behind a paywall.
The only Patreon.
That's only on Patreon.
But. So I felt bad because I told my friend Zach, I don't know why I feel bad, and he said he's cool with it. I'm like, hey, I might be freshly moved in. So he comes in, his flight lands at 10 p.m. August 1st.
Yeah, on Friday.
And I move in that Friday too, so I'm like,
okay.
it's gonna be a disaster. He's like, do I have a place to sleep? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I don't care. And I'm like, okay, perfect. It's not gonna be nice looking, which sucks because I'm proud of how my current apartment looks. I really like the aesthetic. It feels very homey to me, and just packing it all up is gonna be like, ugh. But I'm also really excited to have a bigger space, and I think it'll be fun.
Exciting. Mm-hmm. Let's chat after record. My schedule on Friday might work out.
Oh, cool! Hell yeah! No, thank you. I would appreciate that a lot. Then the Common Ground Cup Saturday.
It is.
You're thinking about doing this. This episode comes out what Thursday?
Thursday. 2 days.
You have Thursday. You have today. You have right now. You have Friday. You have Saturday. You don't. Yeah, I guess you do have Saturday morning. To sign your bleep up for...
Sign your hind end up.
Do you do
sign
donkey?
Your donkey.
Yeah, donkey. To sign your donkey. You don't even have to edit it.
No,
I just did it so well. For this tournament, if you're hesitant about, if you're thinking about, if you're near us, do it.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
As we speak, people are asking for High Tide.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, you know.
Love this.
It's on brand.
Yeah.
The Common Ground Cup's going to be a lot of fun. It's this Saturday. It's 2 days from when y'all are hearing this. It's, oh my God. It's really come right up. It's sneaking up on us.
Yeah,
we're really excited to bring you all really some high quality Pauper coverage. We'll be streaming all day long on Twitch and YouTube on Game Night TN. We will have all of those links available in the description and on Discord. You can find out more information on Discord as well. But yeah, come down and play at Game Night in Columbia on Saturday around 11 a.m.
The first cup, it wasn't exactly 6 months ago, was it?
It was a little over 6 months ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's January 18th.
Crazy how much we've like...
We're basically just playing around a pre-release.
Yeah. Crazy how much we've like grown.
It's true.
Since then, like the podcast and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's true.
I think the Discord's really helped it make it feel like a community kind of thing, which is
awesome.
really cool.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. Excited to meet some of y'all out there, see some familiar faces.
Yeah, we're definitely meeting some people.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really fun.
Excited to see some brews.
Yes.
I keep
There have
calling
been some
them pathetic
spicy
drops,
lists that
but
people have sent in looking for cards.
Crypto relics,
this is
or whatever it's
true.
called. Cryogenic relics.
Yeah.
I keep calling it pathetic drop. That's the black one from
The black
Pixel
one.
Rock.
Yeah. Cryogen relic? Yeah,
Yeah,
something
I
like
keep
that.
calling it that though.
Yeah. We'll have to see if we can highlight some new cards. That would be sick.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Really excited to see. I think that card's gonna shake some things up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really fun. I don't know what to say besides that.
Yeah.
Today we're trying something a little different. This is something I want to do for a minute. I am a fan of all the Magic articles. It's fun reading those. I like thinking of Magic in the old days, and some of the stuff is still like very timeless in a weird way, even though this article was written in 1999
By Mike Flores.
January 1st, 1999.
Originally posted to The Dojo.
Mm-hmm. Did Zvi Moshowitz do the follow-up?
He did Who's the Beatdown Part 2.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Zvi's also another time.
Zvi is also
Gosh.
very incredible.
Classic
good
writer. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
That might be something we revisit too. Some of his articles if we do this again.
Sure.
Yeah. I wasn't born.
It was really cool. It was really cool. So after rereading, I've read this before, but rereading through this article or whatever, it's just like thinking about these like old Magic cards, and like I've seen these decks like play out, like how this stuff plays out. So there's just like a rush of a little bit of nostalgia for me. I didn't play during this time. I would have been 3 years old, but like I've seen coverage of some of this stuff. So it was just really cool for me to go back and read this.
I feel the first paragraph and a half really sets a stage well for this article. So I don't know if I should just read that paragraph out loud.
Sure, go for it.
Thomas, if you want to read the paragraph out loud,
I can if you like.
Yeah, here I'll toss my phone over.
I got it. I have it open over
Okay,
here.
perfect. Just from the most common to our playing aggressive decks.
I got you. This is the beginning of Who's the Beatdown. The most common, yet subtle, yet disastrous mistake I see in tournament Magic is the misassignment of who is the beatdown deck and who is the control deck in a similar deck versus similar deck matchup. The player who misassigns themselves is inevitably the loser. You see, in similar deck versus similar deck matchups, unless the decks are really symmetrical, i.e. the true mirror match, one deck has to play the role of beatdown, and the other deck has to play the role of control. This can be a very serious dilemma if, say, both are playing aggressive decks.
I feel this sets a stage for the article really well. It could be hard to know what your role is that's something I've struggled with in aggro mirrors, is something I want to get into. And also it's hard to tell in mid-range mirrors because I don't feel it's always matchup dependent. I feel it can be hand dependent. One specific example I wanted to dive into, and I'm going to put some Pauper examples up here too, but the first thing that popped in my mind when I was playing a lot of Gruul Mice in Standard, and I was playing the mirror or the pseudo mirror against mono red decks, and just how my different hands would line up. Sometimes I would have a Innkeeper's Talent and Questing Druid hand, and my opponent had 3 removal spells and like 1 creature, and I just killed their 1 creature, and eventually my Questing Druid or Innkeeper's Talent like propelled me away from the game, because the game wasn't about killing my 1 or 2 creatures, because with the Innkeeper's Talent, I was going to get there eventually.
It was about the incremental advantages.
Yes. Yeah. They needed to get like the Manifold Mount, like the Heartfire Hero, Manifold Mouse, Monstrous Rage kill you kind of game plan going. Or if they're the ley line, they just needed to land 1 or 2 dudes and just kind of pump me out and make me blink first, maybe try to shock their thing before they all in Monstrous Rage their thing. So, and that doesn't always apply in like every aggro mirror. How do you feel, Thomas? Because you've always played a very different version of the red deck. You were always a fan of the Pinger Burn. How did you approach that versus... I'm going to say Kadolfa, because that's probably the most experience you have against it, but the deck kind of plays similar. The new red deck plays similar to how Kadolfa did, just without the super nutty start.
Yeah, if you go all the way back to the beginning of last year with the Demand Answers burn list that I brewed up and brought to monthlies and had a really good time with, and just have kind of iterated on that version with Fire Blast and Pingers, on and off for a while. That was a version of an aggressive deck that you really had to know your role to be able to pivot back and forth, because you can't always just fire off all your burn spells against any random opponent and just, I'm the aggressor here. Like, there are a lot of context dependent things in Pauper, like, is your opponent holding up a Weather the Storm? Like the burn specific decks are, as opposed to putting like a bunch of 1-drops into play and beating down with creatures, the burn versions are much more susceptible to Weather the Storm, I think, than the creature versions. The creature versions, most red decks are generally weak to Weather the Storm anyway, but I think the burn style decks are a little bit more weak to it. So you had to kind of figure out, it was more about picking your spot rather than just being all in aggressive. And I think that was really, it was very clear to see the distinction when I played against Kuldotha Red at the time, which I felt was my one true bad matchup. Outside of like, if Familiars got out of hand with like a Godfarer's Faithful or Coggates or Gruul Monsters got out of hand before I got a fast start. Or
Cameron played Naya Gates of Honorable Scout.
Sure, yeah. Like things like that will always pop up and happen, but I think the only matchup that truly felt unwinnable almost was Kuldotha Red, because they were the beatdown in the matchup, and I was the control deck. Like, I would play Breath Weapons and Syrian Blazes at various times in my sideboard, like, to try to deal with creature decks of this kind.
Do you feel like you're able to sew that matchup up good enough?
A little, but not really enough to the point where I felt I could ever really get it to be a good matchup. But the fluctuation between knowing that I am going to be a little bit more the control deck, I still have to be aggressive, but I'm going to be more the control deck there. Whereas pivoting to other matchups, like things against, like playing my burn deck against the creature combo decks, like elves and walls, in those contexts, I felt like I had to shift into being the control deck, because I need to just get as many creatures, like stop them from setting up their engine as much as possible, as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so
and then I can win through inevitability.
In the article, they were talking about the mono red slide deck.
And from 1999.
Yes. And he had an example of opponent having 2 Jackal Pups up and another player not wanting to Swords to Plowshare them and gain them life, but instead wanted to wait till they got their Curse Scroll active so they can kill the Jackal Pup and deal the opponent 2 damage, because they're both mono red decks and both aggro decks. But he was just so like hellbent of, I want to do the damage there, that the Jackal Pups already did enough damage to burn them out the rest of the game. So like in that Walls example, Thomas, you could say, well, I don't have the time to set up a Kessig Flame Breather and bolt the wall. Like, their combo is faster than I can burn them out, so I need to bolt the Axebane Guardian or whichever Wall Blossoms. Which one's the 03? Axebane Guardian?
Axebane Guardian is also an 03. Yeah, Wall Blossoms is a 04. Yeah,
is a 04.
Yeah,
Wall
Blossoms.
Wall of Omens is an 04.
It is also an 04. Yes.
The wall that only taps for green.
That's the 04. Yeah.
Overgrown Battlement.
Yeah. But that was fine because I could pick off everything else for the most part.
And that's only so good. And that's kind of a weird deck too, because sometimes you don't realize it when you're playing against them, but the glue keeping them all together is their mana filter or their Jasper or Sentinel that's tapping for their blue, and it's like if you got rid of that,
the deck's mana is pretty fragile.
Yeah. So I kind of like that example. It kind of like parallels from 1999 Jackal Pup and Bolt to like now, where it's like I don't have the time to set up, but I just need to deal with the combo when it presents itself, not when it's convenient for me to get in the damage.
Yeah.
And with like who's the beatdown, like knowing your role there, if you are the beatdown, I don't think that means you're an aggro deck either.
No, it just means you just understand your positioning in the matchup. That's really what that
Correct.
matters. Because like, for example, like when I played we did the trios event, like when I got to play basically the mirror against our buddy Matt, I immediately was just like, you can even identify by like the play patterns of what's going on the table, like who's going to be what position, like who's going to, like how things are going to play themselves out. Like I could look at my hand when I kept a hand of it was like triple refurb or whatever. I'm just like, I'm going to be the beatdown.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I tend to like, and this is just I've almost always played Magic. Even in like mid-rangey mirrors, I tend to like to take the aggressive stance almost always, because you're both operating on similar amounts of card advantage, and if you're a step ahead of them almost always, like you're going to be able to just keep that step ahead, even like because you're both parallel and roughly parallel on your card advantage. Because that's like that's the real killer. Is more in mid-range matchups than anything else, specifically like mirror matches. Is like who can keep the pressure up while backing it up with like card draw to get you out of the fight that you're going to have over everything.
And the biggest mid-range deck in the format is Jund Wildfires.
It's the Jund deck, yeah.
And there's certain things that can pull you back into the game.
Yeah.
If the Jund Wildfires matchup, I think you're rarely the beatdown against me. The only thing I can really think of like High Tide and stuff like that. And those games become these weird, degenerate Yu-Gi-Oh games where you're just like, okay, how can I beat them? I can get like 2 refurbished familiars out, and maybe I could last rights. Yeah. I could last rights their whole hand away, and we both have 0 cards in hand, and I have a 2/1 and a Cart Clan Shaman, and I'm going to get there with that before they draw out of it. And those are just these weird... And same thing with Turbo Fog versus Walls. I talked about how, like, those games are extremely bizarre, and the same thing, it's, I just need Crypt Rats to end this game, or I need to play a Crypt Rats, and I need to last rights their hand away. So this is just this bizarre... Again, game of almost Yu-Gi-Oh! Over than Magic. But I had a thought there, tie it up with Jund. Coggate's returning. We've seen like a big return of Kage, especially at winning the Pauper again recently. I want to like focus on another like similar matchup type deal with.
That's like a once you've turned the corner.
Yeah,
that is like the once you've turned the corner deck.
Yep,
of
but
the format.
Kagate's versus Jund.
Yeah,
where I feel like the longer that game goes, Jund can start pulling itself in because their card advantage is way better than Kagate's.
Yeah, Kagate's like real piece of card advantage is the fact that it gets to play I was going to say the modern age.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I was going to say the modern age is what lets them do all their like discarding, using their like discarded cards to like advantage. That's their way of doing that. I think that's like huge card in that matchup.
That's the card advantage, yes.
That's the actual advantage.
Yes.
If we're talking
in terms of beatdown advantage.
That's
Basilisk, I think.
Well, that's all part of who like you have to establish what you can do in the matchup or whatever. But if you're the Kagate's player, you must use the Basilisk to get things done with. But I'm saying is that you do have a really good piece of card advantage that they are going to have a really hard time of dealing with. Like you get a ton out of that because Squadron Hawk deck, you're the Brainstorm deck.
So
you do get you get to physically look at more pieces of cardboard probably, like in the earlier turns of the game.
Yeah,
because that's your it's a threat too, and it itself is a threat. So you get to kind of tie those things in together. Whereas like the Jun plan is to just keep it going as long as possible. Just keep it going.
I was talking to our friend Anna about this because she was playing some COG Gates versus me at the pre-release, and I was playing Terror. We can talk about that in a minute. But she was talking about, I want to know how she felt against Jun Wildfires. And I'm like, that's a deck that I feel that can keep up with you.
I agree.
And she told me she's Squadron Hawk and Basilisk Gate, because it's weird, because going back to when I said, just because you're the beatdown doesn't necessarily mean you're the aggro deck. Like, you're not lightning fast, but you still got to close the game out. And once COG Gates can close the game out and close the game out pretty well, because it's way to close the game out, you need lands in play. Like, the game has to go on some number of turns before you can pump something by 6 or 7 or 8.
Well, the one thing is you have to strike this balancing act with on the gate side. You have to be really, really, really picky about when you play your Basilisk Gates, because they do, if they play the matchup correct, if the Jun matchup plays it correctly, they do just have an answer in their main deck for it.
And I brought that up to her, and she told me it never mattered. Even when
I refuse to believe that does not matter.
I thought that too.
But I'm gonna say that is like the contingency point, is how long is one of those staying in play, and how much is it like doing over the course of the game?
Yes,
like each one is going to roughly do probably in that matchup specifically. Each one of those is probably going to do about a plus 6 damage, probably, or 5 to 6 damage.
Maybe more than that.
I'm just saying on average. Yeah. Like a way the games are going to play out, like they're going to do a roughly like just each one individually. Like assuming that it plays, activates, gets blown up on the following turn. Let's assume that.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is that each of them is going to do probably roughly 5 to 6.
And maybe just in the handful of games she played in the matchup, her opponent had the interaction for it once, and then she had the second Basilisk Gate, and they didn't have another.
That's entirely possible. Yeah.
I don't know if Wildfire is going to wait to ramp with it, or if they should be waiting to ramp with it, or they should be holding on to it to blow up Basilisk Gates.
I think they should hold on to it to blow up Basilisk Gates. It's the card that matters to close the game.
Yeah, and you got to do what you got to do to hit your land drops too.
Yeah,
you can't fall behind that matchup either, otherwise they will run you over eventually.
Yeah, eventually. I think you're going to draw enough cards as well throughout the course of the game. Anyways, I think you're going to be okay.
In this particular matchup, in theory, and talking to Anna, and this is kind of how I thought it'd play on my head, is that Squadron Hawk plus Basilisk Gate combo is so hard for them to deal with, because that's something Cart Clan Shaman can't deal with. Post-board, you got to be wary of breath weapons, but
I was like, well,
you get your blast effects, and you want those because you care about countering the breath weapon specifically.
Yeah.
And Cart Clan Shaman doesn't matter. It can hit your other things like Sacred Cats and your Outlaw Medics, and those are so important to win a race. When you're
I actually think the card that matters the most, as far as like cards for COG Gates to be worried about, is just the Chrysalis. Like other than they have to have Nowhere Lies and or Counterspell immediately, like on the ready,
or Journey or Thraven Charm.
What did I say?
No More Lies.
I didn't mean No More Lies. I meant not legal.
I'm so sorry. I meant Journey to Nowhere. That's the card I meant. Journey to Nowhere. And then the counter spells. Like those are your real solid ways of getting rid of that card. And like you don't have them at the ready. It's like that card's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, if it sticks,
that's because that's the one. That's like
you outsize it so quick though.
I mean, if the game keeps going, no, you don't. If the game keeps going, you have a blood fountain loop that they're not getting out of that.
And you have Thraben Charms. If the game keeps going, you keep playing gates and maybe more Basilisk Gates.
But if the game keeps going, then we're blowing up their lands with the Wildfire.
Yeah, I can see it playing both ways.
I think we're getting a little into the weeds.
Yeah, probably a little bit too much in the weeds. Pull back to
something that I thought was really interesting, kind of in the context of Jund Wildfires also, was in relation to the Terror matchup, where going into Indy, I was like, I'm going to throw a couple Murmuring Mystics in my board. And like in practicing ahead of time with some friends, I was just like, man, these Murmuring Mystics aren't really doing much. And it was another level up for me in understanding that deck in the context of the metagame we're in right now, where Terror really gets to be the beatdown in a lot of matchups. Like, I think post board against red with like up to 8 blue blasts, you're probably a little bit more on the controlling side. I more probably closer to definitely. But especially against Jund, you just like, okay, sure, maybe a refurbished familiar is annoying against an early Delver, but Delver isn't always going to be the most impactful against them anyway. Just like slam like 2 Tellurate, set it up so you can slam 2 snakes on turn 3, and that's going to be pretty hard for them to deal with outside of exactly Krark-Clan Shaman.
So speaking of Blue Terror, I learned the other day that you cannot get Terror with a basic level mana trader service.
Correct.
It is 171 tickets for Blue Terror because of 3 cards. Mental Note and the main, and then 2 sets of blasts on the board.
Yep.
Weird.
It's 150 on its own. On its own.
It's been over 200 at the time, and I have a pretty basic like 200 ticket with Card Hoarder.
Yeah, I have like a 150 or something. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I have to rent it with 7 blasts. It's so stupid.
It's like, all right.
Maybe it's gone down. I don't know.
It was like 170 or something like that. I was like, this is crazy.
I like your point there, because in the article, Thomas, it does say he has a couple bulletin points. It says who has more damage usually has to be the beatdown deck, who has more removal usually has to be the control deck, and who has more permission and card drawing almost always has to be the control deck. But with Terror, once you get that threshold of instant sorceries, you start playing 1 mana 5/5s. There's, like you said, there's not a lot of decks that can contest the damage output.
Right.
Of, oh, it's turn 4, here are 3 5/5s.
You shift from tempo/tempo control to tempo aggro very quickly.
And you
have to know when to flip that switch.
You become the beatdown very quick in that matchup.
And once you put your foot on the gas, unless anything weird happens or changes, you usually have to just keep your foot on the gas the rest of the game until they've died in chunks of 5 or 6.
And I also want to like put on like sideboarding. Can your aggro deck beat whatever stabilization looks like for your opponent or Terror? Like, how do you... Or like in the Terror aspects, like how does Terror, if you play these 3 Terrors and you're all in on that, how does your opponent come back from that? And you said Krark-Clan Shaman, the Krark-Clan Shaman toxic analysis. So you're looking about, how am I going to beat that post board? Am I having dispels for...
I just bring in more blue blasts. I just bring in... I bring in 1 set of blue blasts.
Okay, that's what I was... Are you blue blasting the Krark-Clan Shaman?
Krark-Clan Shaman and their red blast that they're bringing in.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of other spells that red blast can hit too, so it makes it pretty easy to save it for those. You can't trick yourself in countering the wrong thing if there's
the blue blast
nothing to counter.
No, the red blast can hit plenty of cards in my deck.
And yeah. And a lot of things, like I think of like Madness, like bringing in duress. It's if I'm duressing my opponent. If I'm playing Madness, why am I bringing in duress? And like, when am I trying to get under? Am I duressing the Weather of a Storm? If I'm bringing in from the mirror, am I just trying to pick off draw 2s? Because how the Madness mirror is, okay, who's the beatdown? It's kind of a weird thing. I think it becomes more about who has more card advantage, and are these duresses worth bringing in so I can grab a draw 2 and I play more draw 2s than my opponent, kind of thing. Something to think about. This article was written in 1999, and I just wanted to point out, cards do so much more now. Yeah. Have you read Fable, the Mirror Breaker?
Yeah. Could you, let me
it was in the commander deck I put together last weekend.
Let me point your attention to another 3 mana card that was in that article. Ball Lightning. Also, standard legal now, by the way.
Yes.
So red for a 6/1 with haste and trample.
It triggers Void.
Sure, in the instep.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Why not?
But it's a 6/1 with trample haste. Sack it at the instep.
So cards are very different from... Some cards are still very prescriptive, but you look at Ball Lightning or Jackal Pup, it's extremely prescriptive. This is an
aggressive card.
But and even a card back then they mentioned a lot in this article was Curse Scroll. That was
a card with interesting play patterns.
Yeah, exactly. That was the aggro finisher to burn them out, but it was also a control card to like manage aggro deck boards. So that was a card that did play both roles, and a card mentioned knowing when that comes up. Like I talked about already with the Jackal Pups situation they mentioned. There are cards now, and I was going to say less so in Pauper. We get really, really wordy cards such as Fable the Mirror Breaker that
right,
can play both roles. We see
like Writhing Chrysalis is like
that is the exact thing I have written
like
down.
That's like as wordy as we get.
Holy hell!
It does a lot of
that
things.
card is a roadblock.
Yeah.
But once they play the second one or even the first one, it'll beat the crap out of you too.
Yeah.
And so many decks utilized in so many different ways. When I said cards do so much now, you see the Ponza deck, how it can just accelerate them into it early, annoy out the Soar.
Well, let's go one step further from a card from the new set. This is the relic, the cryogenic relic. Like, the card has got lines of text on it.
Yeah, but that one's pretty easy to say.
Well, I'm just saying, like, we've upgraded, like, the timing is upgraded as far as, like, what card quality is doing.
Yes, exactly.
Like, this is a card that if printed at that rate, or not that rate, that card were printed, it would be like 4 or 5 mana back in 99.
Yeah.
Right. It would.
Even with that being said, though, it's really interesting how an article written in 26 years ago is still super vital to how we contextualize playing the game. Still, like, it's still people are still thinking in this way of, am I the beatdown? Like, it's something that you have to learn through the fundamentals of limited play. If you like are playing F&M drafts at your local store or on Arena or Magic Online or whatever, just playing basic in even now, like, draft commons and uncommons are a lot more complicated than they once were, but it's still like pretty much bare bones, mostly combat based Magic at the end of the day, and you have to learn these sorts of fundamentals in those situations, and that's really helpful to be able to carry over into like specific formats like Pauper.
One thing I've always heard about old limited formats and new limited formats is back then trying to find your 23rd playable was kind of a chore.
Oh yeah.
And now it's, what are my 3 cuts? Like, all of these cards are insane now, and maybe you get the bad seal pool and it's not that easy, but
hell, you even had that problem, like, even in Vintage Cube 10 years ago. You would be like, oh, I need a
This is a train wreck.
I need a playable. Bad.
Yeah, I need playables.
Bad. So times have definitely changed.
One thing I really want to know in this article too is they mention people lose a lot of matchups because they don't know the role in their matchup.
Yes.
And they're just losing because they are supposed to be the beatdown and they are playing control, or they're supposed to be control and they're supposed to be the beatdown.
Mm-hmm.
And the easiest comparison I can make to Pauper to this is what you already said, Thomas, is terror. If you need to know, like, when to sandbag these terrors, or I turn this corner, this is the turn, I play terror, and I have a spell pierce open.
Right.
And maybe, can I afford, if we're racing, can I afford to wait to play, my terror is 2 mana right now, could I play my 2 mana terror? Or do I need to wait till next turn where I can cast this brainstorm, I guess you cast a brainstorm there. I can't think of an example. I hold up this counterspell for a turn, and next turn hit my land drop, play my 2 mana terror, and hold up with a spell pierce. Can I afford to do that?
Right.
Or versus, do I need a slam terror?
I have lost many games across many formats because I played scared. This kind of plays into playing scared almost, of where sometimes if you can get into your own head of like, oh, I just need to hold up a counterspell here, and then next turn I'll develop some stuff and still be able to hold up a counterspell. Sometimes you just need to slam the threat and have I like the mentality that System Magic has sometimes. Andrew Ellenbogen and Greg, I don't know Greg's last name off the top of my head. Something they stream, they make great content. They're both very, very good Magic players. And one of the things that Andrew Ellenbogen says a lot of the time when they're streaming together, he'll just turn to Greg and be like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm just going to develop a threat.
Were you going to beat it?
It'll
anyway?
be fine. Like, what's the worst that could happen?
Waiting a couple turns to hold the spell pierce. Maybe you would beat it in that case.
Maybe.
But
like if
you're waiting too much,
right, then you're then that's the misassessment of your role, where you're like, I need to play scared, and then that's what can give your opponent an opportunity. If they pick up on that they're just holding this up, well, then I'll just do this other thing, and then it's like you wasted mana on holding up a counterspell and didn't do anything with it. Like it leads you into so many potentially disastrous routes. Like maybe they have a mid or bad hand.
Yeah,
you don't know. Like,
and it's one of those things that, are you going to beat their answer answer anyway? Were you going to beat it anyway?
Yeah. What's the punish is something Nathan Stoyer talks about a lot.
And you could watch the Worlds, I think he won, where he plays like Reckoner Bankbuster on turn 2 and turn 3. Just cruise it and gets in there immediately for 4.
Yeah.
He's very about getting this game over with in that matchup, which was very, very impressive. And that moment specifically was like very eye-opening. I'm like, holy crap, he is like beating down hard there. And to throw it back to that Terror example, are you going to beat the threat anyway with the Card Clan Shaman board wide? Maybe that is something you will not beat, and you do need to play around that. Maybe they played a couple Deadly Dispute effects and they have a full grip, and you're staring at these 3 terrors. So maybe I go terror, and hold up a counter spell instead of tapping out for a Cryptic Serpent or Spell Pierce, or or hold up my Spell Pierce instead. Yeah, kind of thing.
This gets away from Pauper a little bit, but I think the deck that has taught me how to figure out this role the most is Spirits in Pioneer. Where it's a lot of flash threats. There's a lot of kindred payoffs of like, the Rattle Chains it's a flash 2/1 for 2 that can give one of your spirits hexproof until end of turn. You have a 2-mana Lord that's a 1/3. It gives all your spirits +1/+1.
Well, one thing Rattle Chains does that is often overlooked, and that you often overlook, is that it gives your other spirits flash, which is a huge game.
Yes, it took me a while, but then that's been ingrained into my head. Where it's the type of deck where it's kind of similar to Fairies in Pauper in a way, where you have like cheap like tempo based threats and some amount of card advantage. In Pioneer Spirits, it's an aura called Curious Obsession, where you put it on the aura, and if it hits them, you draw a card, but you have to attack in order for the aura to not go away. And you have the ninjas in Pauper, like you were saying there.
Just all these curiosity effects.
Yeah, and then you have like some counter spells, like Spell Pierce is in both decks sometimes.
Spell Queller.
Yeah, Spell Queller is a spirit that is also a counter spell. There's a lot of you have to really assess when you can turn the corner, and thankfully, because there are so many flash threats, you can surprise turn the corner very quickly. Sometimes
Spirits is a little easier to do with because you
in slightly bigger increments, especially because you have a Lord too.
Spell Queller versus Spellstar Sprite is times 3.
Right,
your clock is
crack,
huge, like it's ginormous compared to Spellstar Sprite.
Right,
but
it definitely teaches you, because I have, similar to playing Scared with Terror, like it's that same amount of the same situation where you have to assess like in the classic matchup when I was running hot with that deck in Pioneer was against Red Black Midrange, which was statistically a poor matchup for Spirits, but I knew that I had to be as aggressive as possible, and there were some threats I would have, like I kind of have to let them resolve a Fable the Mirror Breaker. I kind of have to understand that they're gonna Fatal Push something. They're gonna probably kill something with Blood Tithe Harvester. You have to push through and be aggressive.
I think I talked about this a couple episodes ago, where sometimes in a matchup you just have to play like they don't have it. How do I win this matchup? Spirits versus Phoenix. How do I win this matchup?
Yep.
I hope they don't.
They have like one Fiery Impulse, and I can counter the Lightning Axe, and we move on.
I hope they don't shock. Cantrip. Treasure Cruise. And if they do that, I lose. So they don't have it. I'm gonna pretend like they don't have it.
Yeah.
And sometimes things are like that bad where you just have to pretend like they don't.
Or I'm gonna mulligan to my wrist in peace.
I'm kind of glad you brought up the Spirits example, because one thing I wrote down in my notes for this episode was, I remember when we had Skur on for the Fae episode, especially when he was talking about Fae versus Red.
Yeah.
How much he said he told us he feels that people misevaluate the matchup Fae versus Red, that Fae has to be the control deck. He's like, no, you need to close the game. You are a aggro deck at your core, and you need to be attacking.
Yeah.
And using those Brian Barrow intruders, or
to
now
take trades and
Elder now, and
right.
to like profitably trade where you can, and very, very important. And that's another one of those matchups.
It's very similar.
And Fae and Terror can be very tricky decks to play, because it's these tempo style decks where you play interactive, but you're still
your margins are so thin.
Yeah,
your margins are thin. You can you have this. These are the style of decks that like give you that window. Like there is a very small window for you to pick your spot to lean one direction or the other, and those are the ones that are going to punish you the most if you don't do it correctly.
No, I agree, and those decks can be like very difficult to play because of that, because you can get too wrapped up in, I have Spellstar Sprite counterspell, so I need to pick my spot where to Spellstar Sprite something, where it's like, no, I just Spellstar Sprite whatever the hell they play and 1-mana
Or
ninja
sometimes
in.
just run out of spell starter sprites so you can just
put
like
a card in
in
the
for
get your ninja going, you know?
Yeah,
you just
exactly.
gotta like I gotta get going.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm glad you brought up that because that was a matchup that I think is still like very interesting and a fun one to navigate. One more deck I really wanted to talk about in context of who's the beatdown is the Naya Gates list that I was playing. That is a deck where the hardest turns where I spent the most time thinking is, do I develop my board playing this Militia Bugler, trying to find another Bugler or Writhing Chrysalis to play more to the board, or do I just pump the creature right now for 5 or whatever?
Oh yeah, you had that example where like you played High Tide round 1, you're just like play cat, pump the cat immediately.
Yeah, I
because you thought he was playing Fae.
I did think they were playing Fae, so this works out in the Fae matchup and where I was playing around Spellster Sprite, or this works around where now they're playing High Tide and in games 2 and 3, I knew my role very well. It's I need to kill them quick, so it's Sacred Cat turn 1, and as soon as I can play this like pump with this Basilisk Gate, I am pumping with this Basilisk Gate every single turn, because playing a 3-mana 2/3 isn't gonna be more of an output than pumping my cat with the Basilisk Gate every turn. So just about getting them dead there. It's pretty easy when you're like this mid-range deck not playing counter spells versus a combo deck, knowing it's like, okay, I need to be down because that's how you win.
Not in Pauper, but I know one example of a deck that has taught me a lot about how to position myself in a matchup is actually Living End for Modern.
Ooh.
Because it does this the version at the time that I was playing was got to really take advantage of all the pitch elementals, all the soul tile ones specifically.
Yeah, Grief was disgusting in that deck.
So Grief was always.
I mean, Grief was just disgusting. Period.
But even post that, like not being able to play with Grief, like now having to play blindly, like really need to know where and when to slam the things you need to slam. Because people like back in the day, like Living End was a deck where you just like cycle a thing, which is who plays cycling cards anymore. You just like cycle thing, jam it on turn 3, thought nothing about it. And now it's like, oh, I have to like really pick my spot, because you're a deck that has like to hold up Force Negation, you're a deck that has to hold up Subtlety, Endurance, these type cards.
You're
so
also
like,
weak to Consign to Memory, and every blue deck has 4 Consign to Memories in their board.
So finding your
Or Boros deck sometimes.
having 3 control. So basically, just playing playing around all these cards. At like some point, your opponent has played around you doing the graveyard thing so much that you're just like, flash into Subtlety.
Yeah.
Attack you.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna die. Like eventually I'll kill you. Like that's the cool thing. That was one
Here's
of my
a 4-mana 4/4. I was like, I'm gonna scry every time I cycle now.
Yeah, that was like one of my favorite parts about the deck, and it always has been. Is like you just like at some point you just start casting these idiots. Like these gigantic idiots, you just start casting them and they will die. But like finding where your spots are supposed to be in which particular matchups is always super fun for me. It was a deck that really taught me a lot about that as well.
It's a cool deck.
Yep.
As much as I've lost to it a lot in Modern.
Yes, indeed.
Not the best matchup for the old hammer time.
Well, at least I never did get to go Fulminator Mage you.
Yeah.
I want
That's a good time.
circle back, Thomas, something you said when I was putting thought into this, when you said turning the corner. I feel so much of Pauper is turning that corner. A lot of games against red decks where I'm going to try to Weather the Storm or Sacred Cat, and once they spend their resources putting my life total down and I gain that life total back up, hopefully I have more cards in my hand than they do, and I can really turn this corner and push in. Or Terror, where I survived the first initial wave. I played my Thought Scours didn't mill over Terrors or Delver Secrets. My Thought Scours hit spells like they're supposed to, or I was able to Brainstorm, set up Thought Scour, mill those two, and bam, Terror, I can set up. And so much of Pauper is turning that corner. Naya Gates, again, I'm thinking about if I'm playing against an aggro deck, well, I want to find my Sacred Cats, and I want to find my one of Honorable Scout if I can find it, and I want to start Basilisk Gate and getting in there, and I have these Weather Storms, post board, all that fun stuff. And then I also have the Guardian, which is protection from monocolored, and that's another card that can really turn a corner. And that's how I approach that Jund matchup a lot is, yes, they can block it, but they don't have an easy time killing it, because the only way they can really kill it is Tox Analysis and their Chrysalis.
Or by registering a Terminate.
Yeah, which is cool if they want to do that. But more relevant now with Colgate's being a thing.
This is a totally fine card to play.
Yeah, I said it's cool if they want to do that. Yeah. That's why I said it was cool if they want to do that. I don't think it's a bad card at all.
Well, I thought you were saying it in like they're dumb for playing in tournament because of me.
No.
Because of me. I'm like,
No.
I was like, no, I felt pretty damn smart about that one.
Hey, Terminate could potentially become strictly better than Cast Down with the next set that's coming out.
Okay. You.
I'm on Cameron's side on this one.
I'm also on your side. On
Okay. Stupid. I hate everybody.
Everybody.
No, I don't. I'm gonna write an email to Gavin. Be like, hey man, why aren't you?
We have a
protecting us?
conversation. Like we have a quick little, just a little. No legends in common. No good playable.
Gavin,
legends
if
in
you
common.
defend yourself, open
It's
invite.
not just Gavin. There's a whole panel. You guys are so singly.
I know.
There's
That's why
He
like
is
Konami,
8 people.
He is the face of the panel.
that's why Yu-Gi-Oh, Konami, they do not tell you anybody who makes the card. They don't tell you the artist. You don't know play design.
Yeah.
Because Magic players are insane and send death threats, which I do not condone.
No,
condone
I don't.
doing. If you're doing that over a
Jeez.
card game, grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
But again,
I'm just
open invite for Gavin to drop in and
Yeah. Anyone on the panel is
Yeah.
well,
especially
always
Gavin, because I'm
welcome.
curious. It's like, what was the like? You saw Legends come in the Pauper. What were your reaction to that? Was that something you like fought against? Do you think that's a?
Sure. I guess we can find out.
Interesting.
I just love my cast down so much.
Yeah. Guess what? Might become obsolete.
That's
I don't know about that. I don't think it's going to be.
I don't think
I don't think
it's
it's
going to be
completely
that
obsolete.
prevalent.
But it maybe in 3 years it will be when there's a bunch of legends because they print legends to be your commander, so they're gonna be pushed because they don't want a commander, and so.
But they're commons. They're not as good as the legends at
is
uncommon and
Writhing
rare
Chrysalis.
and mythic rare. But you can't. Writhing Crystals can't be your commander.
Yeah, imagine if you can't cast
gonna
it
be-
down though. That's what I'm saying. These push cards that are pushed because they're in. I want to be your commander.
I will breathe some life into this by saying
They're not
that
pushed,
makes
they're just legends
that
because
makes
they're
people
Spider-Man.
play other cards, which is cool.
No, it doesn't.
It makes people play cards like Terminate now.
Oh, okay. I thought you
Over
meant,
just
I
cast
thought
down.
you were
Just
saying-
cast down.
My
This,
bad. I
diversifies.
interpreted it wrongly.
Yeah, sorry. This diversifies things that are
Yeah.
available.
That's cool.
That part
But
of it is cool.
to me, it's not. Now we're just talking. Hi everyone. Now we're just talking
Yeah,
about
complete
Spider-Man.
subject change.
In the middle of this article discussion. Yeah. I don't like it. But I think it's not necessarily that they're pushed. It's just they're literally just legends because they're all Spider-Man.
Who's the beatdown? The 3-mana 1/1, or sorry, the 1-mana 3/3
3/3
Spider-Man.
Yeah, but when you said it makes you play different cards, I thought you were gonna be like, oh, it's legendary, so you can't play 4.
No. Oh, no. I was talking about it makes you play other cards like
Got you.
Terminate instead of all cast down.
Well, it just becomes the next best thing becomes the best thing.
Well, the cool I can say it, but that makes like the mid-range decks like a little more
Mm-hmm.
clunky because they have to play like mana requirements like that again. So it's interesting.
Um,
It could do something cool. I'll be optimistic about it for now.
Yeah.
I also do not like the idea of it in theory, but
And
it
I
could
don't-
do cool things.
I don't know what it is, but like I saw the Katara card, and I'm like,
Oh,
the art style,
the
it
Avatar
looked
card.
nice. Those cards looked pleasant to look at. They looked like Magic cards, but these Spider-Man
could've told
cards
me
do
that
not
card-
look like Magic cards.
You could have taken the name away from that card. You would have just showed me that card. I go, that's a Khan's Tarkir card, or
it kinda does give
a
context,
Tarkir
doesn't it?
card.
Yeah,
I'm
or
like,
yeah, or
yep, I
Tarkir
think
vibe.
that. I think so.
I could see that a little bit. That's funny. But you just see Pig Spider-Man swinging through New York City
With a
and you're-
glizzy in his hand.
Yeah, and you're. I don't know. It just makes me want to vomit a little bit in my mouth. I just can't explain in words. Patrick Sullivan said something once that I really related with.
Just one thing.
A lot of
He
things.
says like he drops a lot of wisdom.
He does, but he was talking about when he was a game designer and something put a bad taste in his mouth and he couldn't explain why, but another game designer explained it better than he could. And he's like, once I was weaponized with the tools to explain myself, I was able to articulate why I didn't like something. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was like very like interesting because
Which
like
is quite why I like the both Patricks being.
yeah, I'll quote a lot of things from Patrick Sullivan, and like it's funny that quote is a reason why I quote him so much. It's just like, oh, like it's not that I didn't have this take before. I didn't have a clean way to articulate it, and
I say it's like I'm gonna say, but they're able, but because both of them have been game designers, and they're both able to like really dig deep into like why things were designed the way they were. That's really cool.
but just seeing, I don't know what it is, but just seeing
It's not a fantasy world.
No, it's
not a fantasy world.
But so a lot of Magic sets aren't fantasy world, and I
what do
really
you mean?
like still.
Like what? Name a Magic set that is not a fantasy world.
I guess how is Spider-Man not a fantasy world?
Spider-Man is New York City.
Yeah, fair.
In a superhero
Arabian Nights.
Arabian.
That's based on the stories of the Arabian Nights. It's like a story,
like a myth.
Thomas Edison or Albert Einstein in Legends. There's Albert Einstein depicted on a Magic card.
No.
Yes, there is. I don't know why you're arguing.
E equals MC squared is in the corner of Eureka.
There might actually I know there's like.
Okay, well you have to.
Was that Legends? It's the second year of the game.
Exactly, and Arabian Nights is the first expansion.
Right, well
but Arabian Nights is like based in lore.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. It's based in like a fictional lore.
Yeah, it's based in fictional lore. That's
based
what
in
it
fiction.
is.
And like there are these little one-off shots that people are like, oh, but Albert Einstein's been on a card. Like, okay, it was a one-off art on like in the first year or two of Magic. Like you kind of give a little leeway there. They didn't really know what they were doing. Now that we've been in this like almost like 25 plus years of like these fantasy worlds that whether they've developed or now we're doing fantasy worlds from other IPs. It's just this one in particular
being the main
stands
focus.
out. Right.
Yeah.
This one stands out. It's the first one that has been like outside of like little special secret lair drops. Like, sure, there are SpongeBob cards. Like, whatever. I'm not a huge fan. It is a fantasy world. But it's not a set. It's not a set. It's a secret lair drop.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a bunch of different random secret lair drops. Like, the Walking Dead ones were the first one. Like,
this is
all right, whatever.
Hold on.
But, like, it's
did we turn into the Yelling at Clouds podcast?
Yeah, probably.
Yes. Okay.
We've done this.
I know.
We've done this. But it's just that the setting is I don't know. It kind of grinds my gears a little bit.
Feels really artless.
Yeah, it's just
how it's depicted feels really artless. It's not. There's a ton of Spider-Man tropes. Spider-Man tells really cool stories. There's a lot of cool aspects, but it's not focusing on one particular story of Spider-Man. Trying to portray a story. It's here's all your favorite Spider-Man cards at once. Spider-Man here.
Right.
Look at this Spider-Man.
I was hoping for like Spider-Man and like a few key villains and like supporting characters. Like Venom gets a card, awesome. Like Doc Ock or like the whatever the lizard guy is, Sandman. Like you could give all of these characters like Green Goblin, like give them cards. Absolutely. And I hope that and like, you know, Mary Jane, whoever else, they absolutely they all get cards.
And I know nothing about Lord of the Rings. I looked at Lord of the Rings. Looks like a Magic set. I don't care.
It's a fantasy
I know nothing
world.
about Final Fantasy. The set didn't bother me at all. I didn't like how wordy the cards were.
Sure, but it's like, but it's a fantasy world.
Yep. But I love.
Can I finish my point?
Sorry. Yeah.
So like those characters, like those are like core. I was expecting that. I was not expecting Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
that is not exactly what I was expecting. I love the Into the Spider-Verse.
So that's my favorite
Miles
movie.
Morales. The animation is incredible. It's really well written. The characters are really dynamic, and they're really good movies. But like, that is not what I was expecting. Of course, it's my own bias, and I admit that it was not what I was expecting from a Spider-Man set. I was expecting like a few variations of like the Spider-Man that we mostly know and love as like Central Spider-Man. Maybe do a couple different versions. Maybe do like a Miles Morales version. Maybe do like one or two Spider-Verse references. But there's just endless sea of versions of Spider-Man in what little spoiler we've already seen, and it just like feels really tacky,
artless slop.
And I don't like all these Legends of Common. They just look.
It
really
feels like
bad.
artless slop.
Yeah,
like OTJ felt very similar to me.
Yeah.
See, I liked OTJ though.
I mean, it's cool, but I agree with the feeling. I also like it, but I also agree with the feeling that it was kind of sloppy. Doesn't mean I don't like it. I like OTJ.
Yeah.
I don't mind that it's a little sloppy, but it's in-universe sloppy, so I'm a little more forgiving of it.
That one I'm way more forgiving.
I don't know.
If this white
kind of lost the plot a little
white
later.
3/3 1 mana 3/3 was just a not legendary. I would bitch if it was a legendary in Magic IP. I'd still be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was just not legendary in Magic IP, I would be way more excited about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, ooh, cool, an aggressive white card. This is a really good aggressive white card too.
Yeah.
But the fact that it is what it is
and if you have two of them, it has vigilance.
And it puts a creature type in your graveyard.
Yeah. Well, no, it exchanges. So, like, if you have 2 of them, you just...
Oh, you just keep doing with the same... yeah.
Which is kind of cool, but...
I just want to see it in the graveyard, I guess.
Yeah, me too.
Right in the trash.
I don't know. It's weird. I can't... It does not...
The real thing we're really getting at
is that
here,
1 mana 3/3 the beatdown?
that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna actually. What we really learned here is that the people really need to start packing Terminate. That's all I'm saying.
It's possible. I mean, we'll see how many people actually choose to play them. That's kind of the discussion that's going on right now. Is like, are we going to play these? Are we going to let people?
People are going to play them.
I mean, yeah, people are going to play these. People are going to like, can we?
Are they on Moto?
No, on Moto and Arena, they will be in-universe versions
which
of these cards, which is also kind of dumb.
Anybody could have just saw how hard I rolled my eyes.
It's insane. That is
just like you think you would have like figured that out in the contract signings, that like this would have been a really awkward thing to do.
Well, it's been that way for other IP stuff they've done too. The Warhammer stuff.
I hate how I'm like, I hate all this complaining from Magic content, and here I am, just continuing to fuel the fire.
It's definitely I don't know. It feels a little bit like artless slop, and I don't know. Like, I love the End of a Spider-Verse movies are.
So is WotC the beatdown against us now? Then
yeah, I think they have been.
1 mana 3/3 Spider-Man's the beatdown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It just feels like I love End of a Spider-Verse, and I feel there's a way to do a Spider-Man set where, and I'm not always a target audience for everything. I feel like there was a way to do this where I could have been excited about it.
I agree.
But when I just saw the plethora of common legends, and God, I know art is up to like people's discretion and stuff. They just look tacky.
Well, I mean, it's like comic book style, which is fine. That's like
I like comic book style.
Right.
No, comic book style is like the
No,
showcase from Ikoria, where it's like
now the Doc Ock that they've spoiled, that does look like a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
That's comic book style.
Right.
This just looks like pages taken out of a book. I don't know.
The biggest thing for me, and I'll shut up after this last point. The biggest thing for me is that I wish they would have gone the way, and maybe they will down the line with other ones. Maybe it's just this one because it's like Into the Spider-Verse. There's so many Spider-Men. They want to highlight as much as they possibly can. If that's like a design goal, okay, cool. I can respect that as a design goal.
Design goal is money.
Like,
design goal is command.
Yes, but
money.
Well, that also plays into my point here of like Lord of the Rings and Final Fantasy had at common much more generic stuff, like
cards that you can print into like Magic that would make sense as Magic cards,
right? Roughly, like the cyclers from Lord of the Rings, Lorien Revealed, Troll of Khazad-dûm. Like Khazad-dûm and Lorien are like they're actual like named places from Middle Earth.
If I didn't know that Lord of the Rings existed, you could just tell me that was Magic.
Exactly,
IP,
it's just
Magic.
Yeah. Well, I
like
knew
6
nothing.
mana,
like I said, I knew nothing.
So here's a 6 mana 6/5 troll that you can cycle for a swamp.
Yeah,
so it's great in Reanimator. Like
Troll of Khazad-dûm, not Spider-Man's fucking
Uncle
number 3
from the grave
from
or
comic
whatever.
book.
I also think that's
1, 2,
that's also part of where you land in the fandom or whatever these like IPs are. Because obviously there's somebody who's way more invested in like Lord of the Rings.
I love a Spider-Man.
No, just let me finish because it's gonna. It really matters like where you land, like how far you land in that. It's like you are already like disenfranchised at this point pretty well, like from like new Magic stuff. Like new Magic stuff doesn't mean a ton to you as much as it does to like an active Commander player who's like buying every product that comes out, every set that comes out, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
You could probably say Thomas even.
Or I think all three. I think all three of us would be.
I barely buy new products.
No, not like product, but you care more about like you're still trying to like qualify for RCs and stuff.
I could only play one RCQ this whole last season.
Oh, okay. But when we had that talk weeks ago,
where
I was talking about the whole 6 set a year thing, just leaving a terrible taste in my mouth where I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
So, but my point is, like say, it just depends on how like enfranchised you are in whatever like lore it is of the IP. Like some people are very, very into Lord of the Rings, and so like a card like Lorien Revealed and Troll of Khazad-dûm are going to mean more as an actual Lord of the Rings thing to a Lord of the Rings fan than it is to someone who is completely uninvested like myself. Like I've watched Lord of the Rings or whatever, and none of that means literally anything to me. I think, but like I'm saying on the Spider-Man thing, this could be really, really cool for someone who's like really into Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm not like really into like Spider-Verse and stuff are like my favorite movies, and it's just weird to hear. I heard a lot of Lord of the Rings fans really who love Lord of the Rings, love magic, love that set. I have seen a lot of Spider-Man fans and a lot of Magic fans like who like both who do not like the set.
That's fair, and I think that is more to do with the approach taken.
Yes,
than
artless gunk.
I wasn't necessarily including art. I was just including more.
Just
of
not everything needs to be a part of everything, kind of thing.
Would agree.
Yeah, What doesn't need it?
Closing out my point on the generic commons thing, in Lord of the Rings and to some extent in Final Fantasy, we see a lot of the legends, like the actual characters that they're depicting, only really show up at uncommon, rare, and mythic rare. Like in Lord of the Rings, there were 3 Gandalfs, which, like as we're seeing in Spider-Man, there are characters that have multiple versions at different rarities, like they've done before. Like they've kind of set the precedent for that. But in Lord of the Rings, it was pretty much just generic stuff at common, and then like the 3 Gandalfs, there was the one uncommon when he's, at the Shire shooting off fireworks. Then the rare version is Gandalf the Grey when he's in the mines of Moria and fighting the Balrog. And then the mythic rare is Gandalf the White when he's resurrected as Gandalf the White. Like that's really cool storytelling too. And I'm sure they're going to do an amount of that. That is really cool storytelling on cards at these like upper rarity levels where they can get more complex and they can have a little bit of, it's a little more, it's more acceptable to have the amount of text on the cards that they have. They can play around with like different types of tokens or mechanics and all sorts of stuff. But at common, it just doesn't feel like it's here. And also just out of respect for there will be a rare or mythic like version of Venom. Why is there a common Venom? Venom's like an iconic character in this universe. Like why there's a bunch of throwaway characters at common that I've never heard of. Doc Ock has a version at common. Why? Yeah. Why? Like that to me it feels disrespectful to the characters to have them all down at common, which is like, we're a Pauper podcast, we love Pauper, it's not that common is just disrespectful, blah 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 blah, but in terms of like the gravitas of these characters, you couldn't like, I don't like Guy in the Chair. I don't like that that's a card, but I'm so much more okay with Guy in the Chair at common than another copy of Venom or some Spider-Man named Beetle.
It's because if you're a Spider-Man fan and you don't play Magic and you hear about this, like, oh, I'm going to buy 2 packs and I really love Venom and I really love Doc Ock, I can open 1 pack and I see at common these characters I love. Versus like Lord of the Rings where it's like, oh, that's kind of a cool reference, like Limbus. But I from a Magic player, I'd prefer the more generic stuff where again, I don't know Lord of the Rings and I'm looking at the cards are impacting Pauper, like the cycling cycle, Troll, Eagles of the North, and Limbus. It's like, okay, these are just Magic the Gathering cards. Wizards, Rockets, these are just Magic cards to me. But when it's, again, Spider-Man, XYZ, freaking, I
do like your point about opening the pack and being able to just like have a version of the card exactly at any rarity. Like I see that, but like you could pack them full of like slightly underpowered uncommon versions.
I think we hate it, and we don't like the un-IP stuff, and it feels worse the less fantasy world it's getting into, and it sucks that it's bleeding into our favorite format.
Yeah.
And
like we're biased in that way, and that's fine.
And I don't know.
Guess where I don't have to see any of those cards.
Cube.
Damn right I don't.
Do you want to play my only UB cube?
Please no.
I'll never touch that.
I will not play this.
I'll straight up not touch it.
It's probably pretty fun. There's a lot of good Universe Beyond cards.
I saw some post. It was Super Smash Brothers X Magic the Gathering, just because we have Super Smash Brother characters, Cloud, Sephiroth, Ryu. Can't remember who the other one was. Oh, Sonic. So it's like
yeah, we have Sonic.
Yeah,
Secret Lair now.
We have these.
It's true.
characters from Super Smash Bros.
Well, we'll never get Pokemon Trainer or Incineroar or Pikachu.
Never say never.
No, they have their... Nintendo is so protective about that, especially about Pokemon.
They're like suing people if you draw Raichu. Like,
if you have like ROM hacks out there, like
just canning large content creators too, which is insane.
Give a shout out Emerald Sea Glass. Give a shout out to Nemo, the creator of Emerald Sea Glass. A great ROM hack for Pokemon Emerald. Looks like the old games.
Dude, they're gonna come for us. He's kidding. It's editing. It's all editing. If you see videos of it, it's just the editing. I don't have any other thoughts.
No. Any other way to get us back to the beatdown? We kind of.
I did. I tied it all together for you, saying that the 1 mana 3/3 Spider-Man is the beatdown.
That is the beatdown.
And to pack your terminates.
I think the best way to tie to who's the beatdown is whoever said it's Wizards of the Coast beating the out of us.
Yeah,
with 6 sets a year. Oh, you want to play standard now? Actually, rotation's going to happen once every 3 years.
So I hate to drag on the old man yelling at clouds. How are people supposed to figure out draft formats like that?
I've had that thought too. That's just like so.
Like by the time you get comfortable in the draft format, it's gone.
I kind of like the idea of draft formats not being figured out.
Oh, I meant specifically Spider-Man. Of like, there's so many of the creatures are going to be legends.
Oh, I'm never going to draft this.
Well, it's not meant to be played 8-player draft.
That's right.
It's meant to be like a supreme draft or whatever.
No, it's 4-player
draft.
4-player and then you play multiplayer. It's Commander Draft. It's the new Commander Draft. They're trying it. They're trying to push it.
Draft this.
They're trying to kill draft.
Yeah.
Guess where you can't kill draft?
Cube.
We're a Trojan horse.
Yeah, it'll outlive Magic when. I hope they do. Would they do like similar patterns where they go balls deep into something immediately and realize like, oh, this is a mistake and reel it back slowly?
They have done that. Like Mark Rosewater is on the record saying like he and the design team have heard the feedback of wanting Magic sets, especially Universe and Beyond, to feel like Magic sets. And I think that feedback was just a little too late for the process of something like this with the feedback that folks are getting.
The theme of Magic.
Or like OTJ.
What hat do you want to put on a Magic?
Yeah, exactly. MKM and OTJ. Yeah. I think it's along those lines.
Yeah.
Again, but at the end of the day, like the only thing we can control is
how the kindness you're putting out into the world.
Well, you can do a little bit more than that, but
you can. That's a pretty big thing to do.
It's a big thing to do, but you can technically do a little bit more. No, we like at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I don't know
if you can do more than that.
Yeah, at the end of the day. We can't control what they're going to do, what Magic cards are going to put out. We can give feedback. We can make our voices heard.
We can only
bitch and complain.
Really, all we can only do is just interact with it how you want to interact.
That's right. And that's one of the nice things about Pauper. I've seen a lot of rhetoric on like Reddit and stuff of people talking about like the purity of Pauper. And I don't know if I like really can get behind that vibe for various reasons.
Sounds gross.
Yeah, it does kind of sound gross. It really kind of does. I get the feeling of a little, and I get the feeling of it. Like Pauper is a format that does kind of feel the closest to like old school Magic of any format I think in existence today. Like, I mean,
other than limited sets,
other than like a good limited set or something like that. But even then, they're much more powerful than they used to be.
Yeah, show me the whatever set just got Final Fantasy. Show me that limited format versus M15.
Yeah,
not even on the same planet.
Edge was fun.
I liked M15.
I thought Edge was fun.
I was not really a fan of M15.
It was fine
as a limited set.
It was fine.
Had Rabble Master in it.
It did.
That's a good card.
Yeah.
If you made it this far.
Wait. We have the Common Ground Cup to talk about real quick.
We talked at the beginning.
I know, but it's like
Who
2 days.
is listening to this that didn't listen to the beginning? Go sign up for the Common Ground Cup.
Yeah, if you haven't played October, I mean, we could have an event in October. No, it's Saturday, August 2nd, 2 days away. But I mean, is there anything we want to like preface, like anything we're expecting? I'm excited to hopefully highlight some. Yeah, let me finish my thoughts, Diddy.
You just asked us. You just asked me a question and I answered it. You asked me a question and I answered it.
No, I wasn't done.
Chat, are you seeing the? This is an example. Thomas, how was your day?
I mean,
but anyway, I said, wait, let me finish.
I'm excited to hopefully get to highlight some sweet new Edge of Eternities cards, because I feel like Edge of Eternities has just been swept right under the rug with the like Spider-Man stuff coming out like days before pre-release.
Days is banned.
Like, yes, like coming out just like a couple days before pre-release for Edge of Eternities. So I feel like Edge just like got totally shafted in the like news,
it got edged out.
It got edged out by Spider-Man in the news cycle of like social media in Magic World, which sucks. Like there's a lot of really cool cards for Pauper.
I saw some, I don't remember who it was. I saw somebody on Twitter that said this is like a Modern Horizons set for Pauper.
Yeah,
like the amount of potential shakeups that could happen.
There's a lot
of
really
cards. Cool cards in this set.
Yeah, so I hope we get to highlight some cool decks, either a brew or something that's been around but maybe is playing a few new cards and it's added up the power level.
Somebody, I really need somebody to show me how good Ephemerate can be this weekend.
Yeah,
I need somebody to show me how good
the warp spells. Yeah, we'll put that on camera. We'll look for it. If you have, if you won your first round and it's round 2. We can put you on camera.
Or round 1. We have a plan for round 1 who we're featuring.
Nope, because our champion is not returning. So that's
we'll have to see what how the matchups play out.
I don't know. I've been asked to put some pretty cardboard on camera.
Ooh.
I think there's gonna be a lot of pretty cardboard there. So.
I was asked to put some very particular pretty cardboard on camera.
I think I know.
Is it yours?
No, it's not mine.
I know what he's talking about, and I don't want to say what they're playing. I'll say it after we're done recording.
Okay.
Right
around
Who?
Yeah.
We'll say it after recording.
Yeah, we'll say it after. We can't spoil anything.
Yeah.
We're so close. We're so close to the we can't give away spoilers now.
I'm not giving information to people.
No, I'm really, really excited to see how everything goes. I'm excited to, in collaboration with Steven at Game Night and the whole team there, give away some cash, some cold hard cash.
I'm excited for Hangs. Just
Hangs.
Watch my favorite format.
We've also got some community members adding to the pot too.
Yeah,
which is really,
that's
really
right.
Cool.
Huge shout out. Thank you to Derek, one of our longtime listeners who played in the first Common Ground Cup, came down for that one.
I did. Played that sweet Madness deck.
Yeah, with that really sweet red-green Madness deck that we put on camera, I think in round 3.
Yes.
Or round 3 or 4, I can't remember. I think it was 3. It was 3.
Round 3, because that was my first round off coverage.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's thank you to Derek adding an extra $100 of store credit to first place. So first place, once we get to top 8, there's still a lot to play for. So
I can say the splits are not as incentivized here, although I'm not opposed to them.
No, I in the pre-roll, I have some things planned to. Yeah, I have some things planned to chat with everyone and like, y'all can split, but we're definitely playing out for coverage and blah 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 and all that. So
I am hot.
Yeah, cool. Well, we can wrap things up.
All right.
I didn't mean to derail us so hard into Spider-Man talk, but
You thought we got derailed with the cog age jump discussion.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
on that topic, I think Coggate's the beatdown.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Cool. Glad we had that conversation.
I think we're discussing how they were the beatdown.
That's true.
And it's okay to disagree. There's a lot of good cards in that deck.
Excited to watch some really fun Pauper. I love watching. I love playing games.
I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah. If you're not there, please watch on stream.
Support it.
Share the links with your friends, your Pauper groups. Come watch. Come hang out and chat. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Tell your siblings.
Matt Carter will sign up for this event.
Yes.
He's not going to.
He won't make it this far. No, it's fine.
No, I know what he's doing Saturday. It's not Pauper.
I know.
See, look at that, Wizards. You drove our friend out of Magic. He doesn't like the six sets of years thing and all the UB junk. You like Lord of the Rings. You didn't like this. See, you're driving him out. Hope you're happy.
Lord of the Rings. I like Lord of the Rings a lot.
I did too.
I got to play that pro. That's kind of
don't even like
again. I have like
Lord of the Rings, but I like that.
I'm familiar with Lord of the Rings. I have very little investment in the Lord of the Rings.
Have you guys seen the movies?
I've never seen the extended cuts of all of them.
Okay. And you've never seen? Have you seen the movies, Cameron?
No. I know. I said I know nothing about Lord of the Rings.
We'll have to do a movie night.
I knew.
We've talked about this movie night thing for.
We've had so many
years.
I knew about Frodo, the Balrog because of King Gizzard, Lizard, Sauron, Dildo, and like Legolas.
Dildo. Yeah. Famous Lord of the Rings character Dildo. Take us out, Cameron. Get us out of here.
If you made it this far, that means we're the beatdown.
We beat you down for the last
hour and a half. I use compressors now. It's fine.
Cool.
Just don't do it often, please.
That means we're the beatdown, and you're playing a bad control deck, and you just can't handle how hard we're beating you down. But you like it. You like them.
Hold on. I think there's an...
Join our Discord if you want to email us.
Join our Discord.
mtgpod@gmail.com.
Beat me down harder.
Ooh, do you want to see? Did you see the pin I put on my backpack from Devon's?
Here. Is it the submissive one?
Yeah, read this out loud.
Submissive breedable male wife? Yeah. Hang on, where... Yeah, submissive breedable male wife. I took a picture of that when I saw it at their house, and I sent it to Hannah, and she was like,
I also took a picture of it.
I saw that.
I saw it the first time.
I saw that.
Relatable.
Yeah, I was like, can I put that in my backpack? And Devon's like, yeah, I'm not putting on anything. I'm like,
relatable.
Yeah, I'm excited for this weekend. I think we are excited. I cannot express how excited I am. I'm excited for my friend visiting. I'm excited to show him the magic scene. Mm-hmm. I really want to get some cube in because I tell him how awesome our cube scene is. So maybe some people are down the cube after Saturday. Some people were talking about Friday hangs. I know I said I would, but turns out I'm moving that day. So I don't know how up I will be for that.
Stay tuned in the Discord.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. We got a channel for the Common Ground Cup, so we'll all be chatting in there.
Yep. Excited to meet some of y'all.
Yep,
excited to see y'all again.
I'm excited to see some folks, see some sweet commons being slung around. Yeah. Excited to lend out some cardboard for people who want to play. It's nice. Mm-hmm. It's fun. I can't believe I'm lending out what I'm lending out.
We've all bet on who's winning. We put money.
I have not.
That is.
They don't know this. We all put money.
It's not. I cannot condone these words.
I am not doing that at all.
I'm not doing that.
Thank you all so much for listening, fam. We love you, and we'll see you in the chat on Saturday,
or at the tournament,
or
get beat down.
Both. Yeah. Figure out who's beat down.
Yeah. Who's the beat down?
Goodbye, everyone. And then Devin and I get in the merch line, and the show prior to 2 weeks prior or whatever, Drew bought a shirt that did not match anyone else's, of course, because Drew cannot stand to match literally any
why would he
being.
Why would he do that?
Here's what he doesn't know is that Devin and I are willing to go and spend money on a joke, and we both absolutely bought the same shirt that he has now. And oh yes.
That's funny.
I took a step further because Devin and I were talking about a Rush album on the way, or Rush albums in general on the way home.
Yeah.
And I mentioned an album. He goes, "There's a reason I forgot that album exists. It's not good." And I'm like, "Is it bad?" And so I've just been on and on and on about this.
Mm-hmm.
I went so far.
As
to, I'll show you the album cover. This is the album cover
for this Rush.
Yeah, this is the album cover for that album.
That's awesome.
So the album cover's cool.
That's awesome.
So
presto.
So I purchased not only the CD, I purchased a stuffed rabbit, and a magician's kit with like a top hat and the wand, and I'm having that sent to his house, and he doesn't know it yet. Like I put a song on in the car after we left Ghost on Saturday, and he's just like, "This is so bad, Hippo. Please turn it off." He literally plugged his ears. He's like, "This is bad." Like a Rush album is better than like the worst Rush album is still better than like random X album. It's not like a particular contest. But so yeah, I can't wait for him to be like, "What the fuck?" And I even wrote him. I had the album itself like gift wrapped from Amazon, and I had a little note written on it.
You went all out for the bit. It's so good.
I go all out for the bit all the time.
Yeah, dude, you do. It's true. That's funny. That's funny.
Lord.
Oh Lord, yeah.
He doesn't know it's coming.